Hello everyone. In our today's video, we're gonna create our first ever Amazon clone. Now the finished product will contain all of those. Now you see you have an Amazon header with everything, like you have a drop down list over here, you have a search bar, and then also you can render the items alongside. And of course you can see the products is available here. From that product you can compare, add to cart, view details, or you can just make a wish list. Or if you don't want that, you can just simply add product from here. And whenever we are adding the product, we are just throwing the product in our cart. Now also if you come over down at some more product, now here you can have a sign in tab, but we will do it later. First, like, you can just go each and every single segment. You see the footer is most the Amazon like footer, and also we have a down footer. If you go to Amazon website, you will see the same setup today itself. So now we added our product. We can go to our cart, we can delete our item one by one, and also we can just clear all over the cart. Now here you can see you can go back to the continue shopping over there, also at cart. This proceed to pay option I keep on pending because I don't want to stack all that in one video. It will be part by part. So in this part, whatever you are viewing now, we're gonna make that, okay? And also we can make it our sign in. Before sign in, we need to go to create our Amazon account. If you come over here, click it and see the error is the same the way Amazon is giving. So before I start explaining or creeping one sign in, let's go and build our today's project over here. So now let's create npx Amazon YouTube. So let it create our project by itself. So within that time we will go back and create an account. So now whenever you are typing, like I want to type my name, see, whenever you are typing, that error messages is disappearing, right? And now you click no error, just I put some random text, just give some, you see the password must be at least 6 characters. So we just make something random, we click, see the email is not a valid email. So I will put my email gmail.com. let's give a password more than 7. And also now when you continue, see it's creating our accounts. So after create, account created, and now of course we need to verify our account before we go a little bit more further. Let's go to Google, let's go to our Gmail, and here see you get a verification from Amazon. So now as you click, your account will be verified, and now we have a verified account. So now we can go back here and make our first ever sign in. As you see in the Firebase, if I just make a refresh, you see our account is created. Now let's sign in. Just type that or blah blah blah. Let's see what it's saying. Invalid email. Okay, let's give our actual email, gmail.com. let's type again. Wrong password, try again. Okay, the password we have been given, let's try. Successfully logged in, and here you can see you have your details. Sorry, I just clicked and now also you can just simply go log out, it will just disappear. And also we are in the store, whenever we are accessing our sign in button, we will save the user in the store, so we can manipulate that user anywhere. Here you can just give a quick buy, it will take you to the pay option and also your profile option, which we gonna create later on the video. So as you see, our project is ready. So let's see and cd Amazon YouTube, and let's open it to our code. I think it's open in another window maybe. Let's drag it here. So this is our first project. So what I'm gonna do, I will take one terminal over here, and as I want the TailwindCSS to do all over that beautiful CSS for me, so first of all I close that one, and now I want to install my TailwindCSS. So it's a normal viewpoint of project. I'm not gonna to go that much deeper because it's a huge project. It will take a lot of the time. I will just go a little bit quick and delete the unnecessary items which I may not require for this project. Tailwind is installed, and also I will make that in it. Let me take another one, and in the let's go index, and I'm gonna delete all. As you may see in my previous video, whenever you are accessing the Tailwind CSS, you need to use that to render in that config file. Let's save it, and after that we're gonna take in index CSS, and here it is. We're gonna paste it over here, and little bit try before running that npm start. I'm gonna just copy that, and let's go to our app, delete over all from here. I think the header also will be gone. Also this not require and not require. I will just take React from there. Let's save it. Okay, so after saving that one, let's create, just let our application to spin on. Now most probably this everything will be like, whenever you click to all, you see it's so sleek and it's beautiful. The design is so pattern, and because in our first project what we're gonna do, we're gonna create all of those things, the CSS pattern, the sign in option, and also the sign up option, you know, creating accounts option, and also we will create the UI in our first or second video. And also in our, after creating the UI, we will create our store, you know, where we can put the product over there. And then at the second step, what we're gonna do, we're gonna create our authentication, like our accounts and how we can access the data, store, or blah blah blah, whatever is required. And at the last video, we're gonna make it responsive. It will be a full version of project, so keep tuned and start building with me. Now you see the report vital, so some other I need to delete from here. Let's go here. I think it's coming from here. And keep save, and I think it will be fine. Now we get our hello world. First of all, we have first what we need to make. We need to make this header, the first beginning portion, this header all over. There will be header top and header bottom. So let's create our first ever Amazon header. And to create that, what I'm gonna do, let's see where we are. We are in the root file. So let's go to the source, and in the source I will just create some directory. One will be components, and another will be for our pages, another will be for our assets, and for our API, and also for our constants. So those all are the directories I require for our entire build. And first, in the components, what I'm gonna do, all of the components I will put in a folder, like header will be a header folder, because there will be top and bottom header. So in that way we will create. So first let's create that header.js and a snippet, RAFCE. And to run that, you need to install from that, I think from the extension, you need to get, I think, ES7, I think, maybe. Yeah, not React Native ES7, I think. That's one. Yeah, you need to, I think I have that one. I keep on forgetting that name. So if I go there, okay, let's close it. Let's go my whatever I have installed here. You need, if you want to that ES7 plus React, you need to install that one so that RAFCE snippet will work. And also what you require for another one, for the Tailwind IntelliSense, you need to install that one, because you'll see whenever I will type the Tailwind CSS, it will give me the IntelliSense, you know, otherwise you'll be blind, fully coded, decoding the number, it's very delicate. So you better install that one whenever you are using the Tailwind. So now we create the header here, and also we gonna just import that header in our app. So I'll just make a little bit closer, and I think it will be better if I make a little bit bigger. So let's zoom in so you can see it perfectly. So now that's our project, that's React, and you see our header. So before move any further, what I'm gonna do, in our file, in Tailwind config file, I'm gonna predefine some classes. like I will define the max width, and that max width, which will be it will be a container, and it will be maximum width of 1440 pixel. And also what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just drop up the some of the screen sizes which I'm gonna use later on to make it a fully responsive. And after that, let's go and add our, because if you look at here properly, I think yes, something is crashed. That one will not be a problem. I'll just close for a bit. And then let's go to get our font family. You know what you can do, because here you can see it's a different font. So if you go to just Google Fonts, and here, from here you can just select whatever font you require. Now here I selected the Poppins and Roboto, but I think for my project what I use, not the Poppins and Roboto, I use pretty much that one will be, yeah, Poppins and Roboto. So what you need to do, you need to go to down over here or in the fonts, and you need to search like Roboto. Then you need to select individual like items. I want that. See, it's selected. I can remove it, will go. So I selected all of those I need, Poppins and Roboto. And then what I did, I have two fonts. I will go to import because I will use in the CSS file. So let's import it. Just copy from here. And after copying it, I'll go into my CSS file, and in the top label or any label you can just put it that one. Let's save it. So I have the font. So now I can access that font here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give that the font family, and that font family, what I did, I make one title font which will be my Roboto, and one is my body font which will be my Poppins. That font family name is coming from here. Okay, you can put it in an array, or you just simple font, you can talk in both way you can do it. And also I want another one, because if you go there, there is some color is there. That color is predefined color, Amazon like color. So what I'm gonna do after that, also I will define some colors. Just go with me regarding those things. It will save you a lot in for a long run when you'll do the projects. So now save the colors, and after the colors, I'm also going to prepare some box shadows, which we will put it in later on our video. Let's save it. Let's paste and save. We are not going to require any plugin. Let's start it again. If it's crashed like that, don't worry. Whenever you are accessing tailwind.config.js, if you make any mistake, it will just freak out. So don't be worried about it. It will be just fine. Let it spin. While it's spinning, let's go to our header and close all of those. I think something we made wrong, maybe. No, it's nothing wrong. So I think all is fine, and we can see, yeah, that is our header. So now in our header, just remember what we'll do. We have an entire div, then those everything like the image and deliver, we will keep those all thing in a separate div. Okay, so that's way it will be very easy to access. So like in the header, what we're gonna do, just make a blueprint of it. Like in the header, first we give the image, and then the delivery start. The image will be here, then the delivery portion, then the search will be start in that portion, and the sign in button that portion, orders will be here, and at the end cart will be here. So now first of all, for our main div which will contain the header, what we're gonna do about it. So first of all, let's give a class name, and I will give a width of full, and BJ will be the Amazon blue, and text will be white, and give a px of 4, not to be squished from the beneath, and the py of 3. Let's save it, and I think we'll we give a padding so we can see something. See, that is over here. I think we didn't keep any text, so we cannot see any text. Now after that, what we need to do, we need our image. First is our image. Remember, whenever we are doing that, to get the image, access the image will be in the asset folder. We need to every time access that file. So first of all, let me go through with all of my previous file and get all of the photos which I may require for that project. and let's go to our project. Inside, in the source, in the assets, I'm gonna paste it all. So now here is our all the assets we may require for our entire project. Now what we may do whenever, like I need one logo here, like this is our logo, I want to use it here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do like import logo from, now I'm gonna access our assets folder, and then what I'm gonna do, logo.png. That's the way I can access, right? But without doing it, see, anytime it can broken, the link can be broken, it's difficult to trace. You need to go each and every photo. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a simple JavaScript file, index.js. Now here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna import my logo from here, and this is in the same directory, so we just in the top level png. So save the photo here, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just simply export that logo. Now that logo I can access to my entire project wherever I want. So now like that, I'm gonna get all of my photos required for the banner and flag and others, and let's export all of those from here. So my photos are ready to work with that. Now to access the photo right now, what I'm gonna do, import, and it will be logo. And now I think it will not give us from the first time something, and later on it will give the pop-up, and it will be from assets and from the index. So now inside of that div, here will be our image. So let's create another div which will contain the image. Let's give the image here, and for that it will be also, let's put an alternative for that. Oh sorry, it's my bad, I think I select in the wrong way. Yeah, so now save it, and when you save, you see it's a big logo because the logo is very big. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make it a size in some way. I'm gonna go with so many predefined classes because I tried it beforehand. I want to save the time. Okay, so let's just give it here. I give a width of 24 and a margin top from the top. Now this kind of class name, you can go to the Tailwind documentation and you can read everything about it, and if you have any confusion you can just drop in the comments below and I will just go right to you. So now we have our image. So after having the, and it looks perfect, right? Perfect and sleek. But now if you come over here, there is a hover effect, right? We need to create that effect whenever we're starting, because that hover effect is affecting for every other divs except the search one. So let's create that hover effect, and to that create that hover effect, what I'm gonna do is in the topper level div, what I'm gonna do in class name, I will just give a padding from x-axis 2, and I will give a height of 80%. It will contain all over the height of, but 80%. And then I'll make it a flex, because in other hover also there will be flex, and then I will make the item center, it will be center, and then I will give a border, and the border will be transparent. But whenever you hover, the border will be white, and of course the cursor will be pointer. Later on it will take whenever we will create the link, but we'll just give that one, and the duration just give 100. When you save over here, if we go back there, see that hover is working, but it's taking the all over the width because we didn't mention any width over here, so it's taking the entire width, right? So let's keep that width because we're gonna fix it in a bit. First of all, to fix that one, what we're gonna do, see we have a div, but in under of that div we will create another div. Okay, then we will just decipher whatever the things we may require, and that div I think for first of all let's keep that. Okay, we will keep that topper div is clean, because why I'm using it you're gonna see later on. So first of all let's give a flex, And before giving it in a way, let's create our another portion, which will be our delivery option, right? So let's create another div over here, and inside that div, this one we're gonna fix it because we will put in a flex which will take the proper width and height. So first of all, if you go here, we have an icon, right? And that icon is coming from the material UI icons. So let's go to MUI icons. You may prefer to use any icons you may like, but I'm gonna use that one. And here we need to install all of those to access the icons. Let's install. You can read the documentation to understand it better. I'm just gonna go a little bit fast forward. Let's copy again, paste it. And after, whenever it will be ready, whatever icon is like, if you go to location and enter it, I think it stuck for a bit. Okay, just make a reload. Okay, yeah, now you see the location icon is here. So those kind of icons, when you click, you can just copy those things and it will work just fine. So I already take those icons in, like I know whatever icons I may require for this. So for this one, I need that location icon. I will get the location icon from there, just paste it. So now this design pattern, don't worry, because my Tailwind sometimes it just broke, so it's giving some weird notation and there. So what I'm gonna do, first of all, I'm gonna create in the div, I will put that location icon. So first it will be the location icon, then I will give a p tag. Let's give a p tag, and in the p tag I will give it the text of delivery to, and then I will give a span tag. I'm now in Oman, so I will keep that at Oman. See, still that one is installing. I think my internet a bit slow, so just hold for a while, because if I save, you will see that will crash and start crying. Okay, we got it. Now we save. After saving, I think you may see the icon as soon as possible. Let's go. It's still compiling, and see that icon is available over here. Now is the time we can fix that portion where we can really give and width and height on that sense. So come over in the topper level. What we're gonna do, I'll give a flex, and items will be the center, and also I'll give a gap of 4. Now save it. After saving, you get this one. Now see, that is working just fine. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna style that portion. So for that portion, you know, in the topper div, what I'm gonna do, for the topper div, I need the same hover effect. So now if I put the just copy, just simply if I see show you that one, if I just copy and paste over here, it will work just fine. If I save and I go, see the hover effect there. Now you just to fix that one, okay, let me fix that one also. If we go to our p tag, what I'm gonna do, I'll give it text of SM. And by the way, actually by default I'm gonna give something over here. By default the class name, like all over the body font will be like body font. So now you can see the font will be the, yeah, it's getting the, if you just inspect that one, it's supposed to take the Poppins, which is our body font. If you go over here, I think it will, it maybe it's shown, yeah, see, it's the Poppins. If you remove that, it's a different, yeah. So by default it will be Poppins all over, and if you need the title font, we will just mention in a bit. So alongside we'll give a text of SM, and then what we're gonna make, I will make a text of light text. We give a color before, and font will be light font, and that's it. If we save it, we may see some changes, yeah. And that light font, the color is coming from sorry, it's not from here. If we go in Tailwind config, that is our light font. You can go through each and every single components over here. Now after giving that, we have an span tag. Remember, if you see that, that is much more bigger and little bit good looking, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put some class name for that one also, which will be similar to that but in a different way. So if I save it, now you see that is working much fine. Now my question is why it's not giving, because we give a flex, but what if we give a flex in no, we didn't give a flex yet, so we just give a font. Now we give a flex, and flex will be in column portion, flex column. Now you see that's now these two hover is working, but see, I just round up this whole code in the same code. I'm putting in a different, in a like a duplicate. I'm duplicating in several times. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go in my index CSS. There is a very good tricky hack in Tailwind. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go in the layer option, and layer will be my components. I want to access all over my components, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a class which will be hover class, and then I want to apply. Now whatever I want to apply, I can manually type, or I will just copy from here because that's the things I want to apply. Let's save it. Now after saving, I think this one just will be broke. Yeah, save it. Just copy that portion, paste it here. Now you go back here, it's still working. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do the same things for each and every components. Now see, that thing's working. So after that, what we need that search bar. Okay, to create that search bar, again the same simple phenomena we're gonna create. What we're gonna do, we have right over here, the search will go here, and now we're gonna create a div over here. Now on that div, first let's create a span tag. Yeah, span tag, and inside that span tag I'll just get all items, and after that all, I'll create another span inside that span tag, because you see I want to create that one. Okay, so just go along with that, and here what I need a drop down icon, so I'm gonna use that icon, and here right over here I'm gonna just give that drop down icon. If I hit save, let's go to our application, and you see that drop down icon is here. But now I need to make that one possible. So what I'm gonna do, in the overall, the top layer div, let's give a class name, and I want to give a height of 10, and also it will be rounded in MD, it's a middle round, and also I'll give a flex, and flex it will be grow. So whatever the possibility of space it will take, and I will keep a relative because I'm gonna keep something absolute here. Just for time being, I'm giving it a relative. And now if you come over here, you can see, you may not see that one right now. Like if I make a VG of white, see, and it's taking the entire portion of the div. Okay, so just remove that VG because we need to work on that. So now what I'm gonna do, after having that, we need an input, right? So after having that, all of the things, after this pen, we need the input button. So let's get input, and that input, if we save it, just we'll get an input like that. But I'm just going to give some predefined class name for that input. Like as you see, I'm gonna give a height of full, the 10 of height it will take, text base, text Amazon blue, and that the same way it will take the flex grow, there is outline, it will be none, border none, like a normal familiar CSS I'm just keeping. So that is our box, and if you type it would be there. And also we need another icon which will be implemented for our search icon. Also I will take all of the icons, whatever icons are required, search icon, and then another is the cart, shopping cart icon. So now I have the icons. What I need to do, I need to keep the icons just right below of that here on that input. So let's create another span, and inside this span I will give the search icon. And if you if we just go here, you will see the search icon, but that search icon, I need to make that. So what I'm gonna do, again, I'm gonna take the help of some predefined classes, because if I go with each and every individual classes, you may not, it will take a lot of time. So for that span, you can go through with it. I am giving a weight of 12, height full, and again the flex and the color combination, I'm giving them as an YOLO. Whenever you hover, it will be a defined class, and the same procedure of that. So now if you go there, see, that's working much better. So now what we need to do, this span we need to keep in a way that it will be looks like that. And for that, we need to work through some different way. That entire span, see that portion, that span we need to give an overall class name. So let's go in that span, let's give a class name over here. The same way you can go through every single class name, because I know it will work just fine. Now you see that is working just fine. So now we have that. Now we need to create the drop down. Remember, see, whenever you click, it's gone, it will just be gone. So we need to click that one, we need to create that one. And to create that, we need to first create an state. Like we will create const, it will be show all, and first it will be false, but whenever we're gonna click on that span tag, that all tag, that entire span, like whenever we will make and click on it, what it gonna do, it will make set show all, it will be make it true and false. Like if you want to see, I'm not gonna go make the show that on each and every single class. So for time being, just because it's the first one, I'm gonna just make a console.log, and if you want to see the show all, let's see what it's giving to us. Let's go to our app, go to inspect, go to console, see, it's giving a true and false. So now we can take that hint and we can work with it. First of all, I'm gonna just go down of that span because I want to show it here, right? So under that span, I'm gonna create that list. So like what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give a condition. If show all is available, only then that things will run, that things return some value. What it gonna return? It gonna return a div, and inside that div, it gonna return an UL, and inside that UL, it gonna return a list of item. So first of all, if we go there, you see all the departments, we just copy that one, paste it here. I think it didn't copy it, maybe, yeah. So if we just get it, Control C, yes. So now if we come over here, click, see, all department is available. So now what I'm gonna do, that overall UL, because you see that is the UL giving us that kind of little bit good looking feature. So what I'm gonna do, in that UL, I'm gonna give a bunch of class name. I'm gonna making it absolute. Remember, I made a div relative in the topper label. I think, yeah, that one is the relative, so it will be inside of that div. And then I'm just keeping, again, I'm giving a width, giving a height, and then I'm keeping it off from 10, left 0. I'm giving overflow y scroll, and overflow x will be hidden, bg white. So you go through every single of class name, you will understand it better. So if I click, now you see I have that list. So now let's just put so many numbers, and you see that's working much fine. Now here is a little bit, you can call it some CSS going on. So that CSS is going to that li. So what I need to do, I need to create that CSS for that li. Okay, and to create that one, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just again go grab some class name and paste it over here. Now if we go to our first one, you see that is happening, applicable is doing it here. So now you can see there is a very big bunch of lists. So I'm not gonna manually type every single time that li, so I'm just gonna remove that one. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a all list items array over here. Like this console, remove that one, const all items. And here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create that array over here, just like array of item. And to do that array of items, let me just show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna first of all give an ID, and that ID I'm gonna give any ID like 100, and also I'm gonna give a title which will be all departments. In that way I'm gonna create that. Like if I go through and create another one, I'll just create 2, then I'm gonna drag all other one from somewhere, and now save it. Now we have an all items array. So what we can do here, now we can map through that array, right? Instead of typing that list. Okay, so just keep it like that way. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make all items dot map, and what it's gonna do, it's gonna return the item, and then I will put that array, and inside that array I'm gonna give item dot title. And if you go and see, you see the 2 item is there, and also there will be something whenever you go to console is freak out, because see, we'll just remove the previous error. So what we need to do for that list item, we need to give a key also. Like key, it will be item dot ID to avoid that error. So now it's ready to go. So now we have 2 items. So first of all, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get all over the items I may require for this application. Instead of that 2, I'm gonna just paste it here. Now we have all the items we may require. Now you see, and that one, that hover effect, remember I just put in a I think in a comment, so I will get that all of the class name, and I'm gonna put it here. Just remove that one from here, save it, and now you can see that is working just fine. So now it's working fine. So now if you see here, your code is look little bit messy, because we should not keep all the items available here. We have a component wise build structure. So I took a constant folder. In that folder I will take another file which will be index.js, and from there I'm gonna export const. Just what I'm gonna export, just before exporting, what I'm gonna do it, this all the items available here, I'm gonna cut it. Let's cut it and let's paste it, and from there I'm gonna export that one here. So now I cannot access that one until I make export from that item. So I make an export, and now here what I'm gonna do, import all items. See, it's giving me the option to choose, and also it will work just fine. Now see, you can go through, and if you just look at, it's the same way it's supposed to be. Okay, so now you have your drop down, so it's very much clean. So after having the drop down, what we need to build, we need to build a sign in option, right? And to do that, we will go in our next step, which will be, we'll create the sign in over here. Let's create a div, and inside that div we will be a p tag which will contain the hello and then sign in, and it will be another tag which will be a p, and then it will contain the accounts and lists, and after that it will contain a span tag which will give an arrow. It will be arrow left outline, arrow drop down outline. So now if you go over here, this is now it's working, but we need to make that one like that. To do that, what I'm gonna do, for that entire div over here, remember we already have some predefined classes. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drop down that class name. I'm making it flex call items store justify center, and that hover effect we created, I'm gonna give it that one over here. And now see, the hover effect is working, and it's getting also in the flex in column axis. So also for that p tag, I need to make it little bit looks good. I'm making it text extra small, text light text, and the font will be light. It's okay, fine, it's working. And now for our next text, which will be accounts and list, it will be a smaller text and semi-bold, margin top -1 and text white. If I save it and let's go, and you see that looks much cleaner, see, and also it looks better here. So now after that we have returns and orders. So that same thing, it will be the similar. Our orders will be here. What we're gonna do, we're gonna create a div, and inside that div we will take a p tag which will be take the returns, and then we will create another p tag which will contains an orders. By the way, you can do that by creating an p tag, and inside that p tag you can give this span, but anyway, there is a lot of ways to do that. Just do it the way you like. I'll make it a flex, and a flex in the column, and items will be from start and justify center. No, justify not start, I want it make it center, and that our predefined header hover. So if we go there, I think it will just work fine. And for that p tag which we have, we will also the similar classes we have been given in the top, it will be the almost the same. So give that one for that, and in the bottom text it will be that. You can define that like a reusable class name in that index if you like, but it's just a little bit, so I'm just keeping it separate. Now I have a hello sign out, sign accounts and list, and the return. So last is that cart. And to do that, first of all, let's go in that here and create a div. Oh, sorry. Okay, let's create a div, and that div will contain the shopping cart. Okay, so after that shopping cart, we will have a p tag which will contain the cart, and inside that p tag we will have an span tag. That span tag, for time being, it will contain the 0. So now we have that one, and we need to make it like that. So first of all, let's go to the top of div again. I think the class name will be the similar of the previous class name. Okay, and if we go back, okay, it's working. And for that p tag which we have, also I'm going to give some predefined classes, and also for the span tag which we have, I'm just for span tag I need to also work with it. So now it's working fine. Now this one I need to remove from there. So what I'm gonna do in this span, because I make that entire div is relative, so what I'm gonna do, let's go create some class name. I'll make it absolute, and the text will be x extra small, and from the top it will be 0, and from the left, time being, let's give a 6. Let's see if it's work or not. And then I will give a font of semi-bold. I want that font a little bit stronger. Now see, it's a little bit nearer of that. And then let's give a padding of 1 and also height of 4. And then I'll give a background which I will define is that F3A 847. I think that will be a little bit yellowish. Yes. And also the text will be Amazon blue. If we save, now you can see that one is working, but what we need to do, we will make it rounded. It will be full rounded full, and then it will be flex. Why I'm going to keeping that flex? If you round it, see, it's in this corner, so you want to make it center. There is a lot of different way, but I will just go through flex and justify center, and the items will be center. If we save it, and see, that is working much fine. So now to just take it a little bit upper level or down, wherever you want to do it. Like if you want to keep a little bit lower, you can just give a top of 1. It's going there. I want to make it -1, so it will go top. Yeah, now it looks better. So now we have our entire customized header. Okay, it's working much better. After that header, that is the top header, right? It's the header top, and we have another header which will be header bottom. And to do that, the header bottom part will be after that div. Before we finish the div, we will be another one which will be header bottom. So header bottom, let's create in a component header bottom.js, and you know the snippet RAFCE. We already created that one, and let's go to header, and we're gonna import the header bottom. So now you see header bottom over here. So this header bottom gonna contains some very simple things, and it's very easy to create. First of all, let's go to the entire topper level of the header bottom. So what we're gonna do, you see the color should be changed, right? So I'll give away the full, and by the way, you can just make that one a container, right? Like I want that entire header to be in a container, okay? Like because right now that div is a max width, right? Now it's a full width it's taking. So if you want to just make a max width, you can do just here, you know, class name with a full, and also that this kind of categorized items you can just keep it here, okay? Now here you can just give a max width. I think we define a container. Now see, it's a container, right? It's a container, but this color is coming from because we declare it here. What if we declare it here? Now you see that's taking the entire div, right? So, and also there is a padding in y-axis. We remove the padding because right now no need the padding. This is working much fine. And also what we're gonna do, we're gonna make it mx auto, so it will be in the center, right? And also what we're gonna do, like in the topper level, we're gonna do just flex, you know, not the flex. Now we just need to give that build item center, justify center. So for that, if we give a height of 14, okay, now give a py of 3. I think something we might be breaking. We are giving somewhere the height. That's just you to understand how it can be done, okay? If you remove that height, see, now it's gonna be, you can modify that height, and it can be so simple to create, okay? Because I want to make it like an Amazon build, and I think their one is giving a full height, so I'll just keep in that way. I'm just showing you how you can modify that one in a bit, in a way you like, okay? Now it's up to you the way you want to design. I like that portion, so you can create also inside an container, okay? So now we need to create that entire thing. We are having that. So what we're gonna do in our header bottom, we'll give away the full, and a padding in y-axis it will be 4, and also let's give a height of 36 pixel. I'll just give a pretty fun height, and the BG will be Amazon light background, and same like text will be white, and just keep it in that way. Let's see. Now see, it's working much fine. And see, it's getting a little bit topper. If we want to, like, let's give a flex and item center. I think it will be in the center. See, it's getting in the center in y-axis. So now what we need to do, we need to create that list item. It's just very simple. What we're gonna do after that div, inside that div, let's go and create those portions. Like we have a list items over here, and remember also we have one side nav. When we click, it's coming over. When we click, it's going, right? We need to click create the side nav. Before creating that side nav, we need to create that list item. So for that list item, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create an UL, an ordered list, and give a list item, and then like all, let's save it, and you can see, you may see the list item is available here, right? And also I think, yeah, the same hover effect is happening over here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give some like if we sorry, it will be first, it will be class name header hover. If I do that, you may see that is working, right? First one is contained with an icon. Before keeping the first one, let's go to give the other, all of the icons is other items is required. Let's paste it all over here. Now this item is available here. Now you may see this is the item, but it's not working the way we should like. So what I'm gonna do, give a flex and again the items will be in a center, and also I'll give a gap of 2, and the text will be smaller text as M, and I want to give a tracking, should be a little bit room to breathe. And now you see that is working much better. If you see here, I think that's the same. That's the same of that. So after having that, let's go to make our icon, which will, I think there will be 3 icons I'm gonna using here, because here also, and you see there also. So I'm gonna use those icons here. So let's go over here and drag those icon. So then before the all icon, I have one menu icon. So let's paste it here, and you will see the menu icon over here is appearing. And for menu icon to looks little bit better, what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a little bit class name, which will be flex, and again item center. I will give a gap of 1, and it will looks much better. So now I have the things. So whenever I click, there will be a side nav which will appear here, okay, and the side nav will contain those kind of things. So first of all, let's go to our components in header. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a file called side nav content, and create that one. And inside the side nav, I think before, see, we have a already declared div over here. There the side nav will be available, but before that, creating the side nav, what we need to do, remember, we need to create a state over here. Whenever we click, it will be true, right? To create that state, the same way we do that before, it will be sidebar and set sidebar, and by default what it will be false, okay. So now whenever we click on that list item, on click, and what it gonna make, it gonna make our set sidebar true, because we're gonna make it false in either way. So it will make it true. Now let's go back down over here. Now whenever it will create, like whenever our that sidebar will be true, what we're gonna create, we're gonna create a div over here. Whenever the sidebar is true, we will declare a div, and that div will which will contain, let's go and grab some class name, because as you may see, if you just look at over here, that div is containing the entire, see, there is a couple border color is there, then is coming that div, okay. So now we will create that div. I will remove that opacity, I'll make it 100 so you will see it better. Now whenever I click, you see that div is appearing, okay. So now if we make the opacity of 500, you may see the div. Now this is the div we create, because those parts will be inside that div, okay. So now after that div, we will create another div, okay, and in that div, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna contain the same, this class name with a full, and height will be full, and it will be relative, okay, because we're gonna create some absolute positioning over here. And inside that div, okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna inside that div, first of all, see, there is a portion in the top, and this one is coming from that side nav contained, okay. So that will create by content, but this one we need to create manually. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create that portion, and to create that, I will take another div. Inside that div, I'm gonna take another div. It's a lot of divs is happening here, and also for the top this div, let's go some bunch of class name. You see, I'm maximizing a width of 350 pixel. I'm giving a maximize width and height, full height, a VG wide. I'm giving a border, and border will be black. So if I save and let's go, now you see that is happening here. If I click, Now on this border is in the side part. You may see here also there is that border. So this is the border we are creating over here. Now on that we need to create that portion. So how are we gonna create it? Let's go create another div, of course, and in that div I'm going to just drop some predefined classes which will be with the full busy Amazon light and little bit padding over here to look a little better. If you come over, you see that is the there. Now we need to create the content over here. I already take the icon which will be available for it, and first icon it will be account circle icon. Let's go, and after that icon I'm gonna give a h3 which will say hello, and then it will give a sign in. So now if I save it and I go through there, you see that is happening over here. So now for that text which is containing h3, also we need to give some predefined classes, and when you do that it looks slick, same like that one. Okay, so after that, now this is contain that div, and after that we're gonna create the content. Okay, whatever contents we require for that, those contents we will create here. And to create those contents, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create those contents in the site nav. Okay, or before creating the site nav, why I'm going to create in the site nav, I'll show you. For that, let's go take a div. Inside that div I will get an h3 which will contain the title, and let's see, we'll create the first title. We'll just get copy from there and let's paste it. That will be the first title. So if we save it, you may see something is up here. Yeah, that is the title, and for that title I'm also going to give some classes which will make it looks better. So this is the classes, and if you see, that looks a little bit better. Now you see there is the 3 item, 1 2 3. So we will create a list item. Okay, again that ul li. So let's create a ul and then the li, and inside that li what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab those items, and also after having those items we will have a span tag where we gonna put our, that is the not the close icon. I think that icon is that icon will be this one. It will be keyboard arrow right icon, so which will contain the right side, keyboard arrow right. So let's save it, and you may see the icon is appearing. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go and grab some of the class name which is must require for that list item, which will keep it in the middle and make it looks much more better and efficient. Okay, so let's place it. I'm making it flex, item center, justify between, and hover I'm giving a jink 200, px6, py2, and cursor pointer. So now you see that looks much better. Now if I just go and make another 2, that is fine, it's working, right? I have this 3. So now if I do that, it looks little bit not good, it looks very much down on it, right? So what I'm gonna do, this div I'm gonna cut it, I'm gonna go to our side nav, and then I'm gonna paste it here. And also we use one icon which I need to get a cut from here and go to the side nav. Let's save it here. And also in the bottom, whenever I go in here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get the side nav content, and if I save, see the same thing. So it's nothing changes, the same portion is happening over here. And also, by the way, what I need to do to our topper level, like in that div, when that div is finished, what I need to also give some predefined classes which will make it looks better. I'm giving a py3, I'm giving a border, and border b gray 300. So it's creating that small border. Now instead of creating multiple items, if I close that one, see, if I just paste it in several times, you see those item is ready. But now the content I want to change. How I'm gonna change that content, right? Because I don't want, see there's a different contents is there, I need to change it. How I will change it? So to change that one, what I'm gonna do, because how many div we have? We have 4 div, so we need to create a 4 div. So in the for div, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get a title. Okay, I'm gonna give a title, which title is required. Then I'm gonna give a one means the first one, second one, third one. In that way I'm gonna declare the classes over here. So like if I come over and instead of that, the same way I'm gonna giving a title which will contain that title, and then the 1 2 3 which is require, and also for like I have a 4 div and I have 4 bunch of item. Let's copy that one and let's give it here 1 2 3 4. So I have 4 items right here. So now still not change over here because we need to access those icons. We are passing from the parents to the child. We have title 1 2 3. So now let's go to our side nav content, and here what you're gonna do, we're gonna destructurize. We will take the title 1 2 3. By the way, you may declare as much as you want. Now this is our title and I'm gonna give it the title, and now also here that will be our 1 which will contain 1, and also that will be our 2, and then the last one which will contain our 3. If we save over here, as you see, everything looks perfect and it looks better. And also if you may, I think the text is not looks the way it's supposed to be. So what I'm gonna do, instead of changing it in every single li, what I'm gonna do in a UL, I'm gonna give a text of SM, the small text. And now see, it looks better and the same the way it's supposed to be. Now we need to create that icon, because whenever we click on that icon it's supposed to be closed. Now to create that icon, because we already create our side nav, so side nav content is ready, so you're gonna close it in the header bottom. After all of those things, before we finishing that entire div circulation, what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a span tag. In that span tag we're gonna give close icon. So now save it. I may see you see the icon. Yeah, it will not be there because we need to make it absolute. Remember, we before in previous way we already make the div as a relative. You may see it's inside that div. So what I'm gonna do, instead of going through all of the class name, I'm just gonna simply make a little short. You feel free to go each and every class name, why I'm typing it and how it's happening, and you will understand it better. So now if you go, you see that is here. Now when you click, nothing happening because I didn't put anything to happen. So let's go in that span. Though our friend not on play, it will be on click. And of course, whenever we click, what do we want to do? We want to our set side bar, it will be false. So now if we go over here, ta-da, it's gone. It's coming, gone. But we don't want to commit like very. We want little bit, animation over here. And for that, I always love my framer motion. I'll take from the npm. You feel free to go their website framer motion and read all the documentation necessary, because I'm not gonna get that much time to utilize it. It will take much more of a time. So let's copy it, and here I'm gonna install that one. And after installing, which div I want to make that to create the effect, right? The div which had the width, right? If you see, let's close that one. That div has a 350 pixel width. That div I want to create that animation over, right? So in that div, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use motion. And to access the motion, what I'm gonna do, import the motion, and it will be from framer motion. And for the motion, of course, we need to also giving some predefined class name. In the initial state, what it will be like x, it will be from x axis, it will be minus 500, okay, and then the opacity, it will be 0. So you don't want to see it initial state, okay. Now whenever we want to create the animation, what I'm gonna do, whenever we are having that animation, I want x-axis, it will be 0, so it will be in the position it's supposed to be, and the opacity will be 1. We want to see it. Now it will be very fast. Now if you save it, and if it's after saving, if even you go, it will be very fast. So we need to create a transition which will give us effect. So let's create a transition, and that transition, what we're gonna give, we're gonna give a duration which will be 0.5, so which will be 500 milliseconds. It's half of a second. So now if we go, ooh-la, so now see, that is slick. But now you see that icon is like coming before that place, right? So because we need to see it together, right? So what I'm gonna do, let's find it out. This is our motion dip. So I'm gonna grab that span, I'm gonna just put it inside of it. You know, I want it to come together. It's coming together. Okay, so now we are having, but see, when you click, it's not going outside of the dip, it's not working. Because if you come over here, that one you may do after following that one, you know, it will not go also, it will need to click, but it will go. So you need to click that option, you need to create it by your own, but I will show you how you can do that. If you click outside of div, it will disappear. So to do that, there is a very good option to create. First of all, we're gonna use the use ref option from the React. So const ref equal to use ref, and now from that use ref, we're gonna create that one. So how are we gonna create? And that ref, which will be the reference, it will reference our motion dip. So the reference will be reference. Now we want to create, see, we are clicking in the body, right? When it's coming, we're clicking in that entire body. Whenever we click outside of the div, that entire div should be disappear. That's simple method we're gonna implement here. So to implement that one, because remember we are inside an component which is already mounted, so we need to use the use effect hook. So let's create use effect, and that use effect, what you're gonna do, also you'll create some dependencies. What we're gonna do, we're gonna create an on-click function inside the document.body, which will be add even listener, and that one will be click. Again, I'm saying there is a lot of way, so I'm creating in this way, you will understand it better. So now what I'm gonna do, if the event is taking, remember, so like if we go to, if we just make to console.log e.targets, if we save it, and now if we go over here, let's just go to console, because there is nothing, that's why it's not saying. See, whenever there is a thing, it's giving where it is. Now it has something and it will see that entire div, because now we have nothing here, right? In this place we have nothing, only in the topper, this empty place has nothing. But now, like if we go to the app, and let's give it a width of full width of screen, sorry, with a full height of screen, so and bg blue. Now we have that div. Now we click, we can find it. Okay, so just to show you that there is no item, that's why when you're clicking it's not accessing, but whenever we're clicking here we have items, so it's getting us the target where it's clicking. So we need to get the target and find out what it may contain. So we will go to the header bottom, and here we will keep a condition. If e dot target dot contains, what it contains, that reference contains the reference dot current, and current is which one? The one we give it here, the reference, that entire div which you have a width of 350 pixel. So that div it will take. So whenever we will be like inside that div, you know, it will not take anything, it will not do anything. But whenever it will be outside of div, it will just make our set sidebar, which is true, it will make that one false. Now if you come over here, you see, I think there will be no problem at all if we just go over here, make a reload, because you're using the use effect hook. So now see, it's gone. And by the way, you may also put some dependencies over here, like we whenever the ref will be changes and whenever will be the sidebar will I think, yeah, sidebar will changes, it will just track. It's better to keep that those things in a way so React will understand you better. So now we are done. We have been done those part. Now what we need to do, we need to create our banner. So to create the banner, of course, what we need to do, and by the way, we will create our header, we will create our banner, then we will create our footer, and then we will create our link position, which will be done by React Router DOM, and after that we will take the product, because this product will not be rendered by use effect, it will be rendered by the routing itself. So that's a good thing, it's a new thing will come to you to learn. So now what I'm gonna do, let's go close those all of the things, and inside that components I will take another folder which will be go by name of home, because we will create a lot of items in the home. And now we will create a banner, FCE, let's create it and keep it down in our app. After the header, let's give our banner. So now we have the banner, and if we go to our app, we are having that banner. So now to create that banner, I'm gonna use the React Slick. If you watch my previous video, I already made several videos with the React Slick. I feel better to use it. So let's go to install that one in our project. And also for that we need to install our CSS portion. And after installing the CSS, what we need to do is to copy this, we need to import that one to CSS to be in action. So now we're gonna paste it here, we'll remove this one and save. Now what we need to do, you feel free to go to the entire documentation, because I already explained it in my previous video. You can go, feel free to go and understand it better. So I will go a little bit a shortcut in a way. So this is the settings will come. Before the settings we need to create also that React Slick, we need to import that one, and after that we will import all over the things here, and let's see after pasting what we got. Now see, and it's changing. So for that one we already get our images which we are importing from our index file. So this is the images I'm gonna use, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove this one, and also for time being I'll just remove all of those things. And inside that div, let's get an image, and in the source it will be banner image 1, and just in alternative tag just keep that so it can help in long run. So now you see we have that images. So what I'm gonna do, after that images also I'm gonna get my other images, so let's place it here. So now we have 5 images, and if you come over here, you see you can change the images. That is working much fine. So these 2 buttons we may not require. So what I'm gonna do, in the CSS, which we're gonna make it here, I'm gonna just put some predefined CSS which I have beforehand. If I save it, you see that things is gone. Now it looks better. So these items, these letter items, we need to create in that way. And to create that, you may go to the React Slick, and also you can go to the examples, and now you can see the append dolls, and those will be the responsible to create those things. So feel free to go there and learn. So first of all, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take that append dolls, the entire things, I'm gonna copy it, and after that arrow false, I'm gonna paste it. Now you may see some change. I'm gonna close it. You feel free to go and understand, explore it betterly, if to understand it better. So now see, from this one we need to create this one. So first of all, I'm gonna adding something more in our in my banner portion, because see that slider, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut it, I'm gonna put inside another div. And also first of all, to our entire div I'm gonna give a width full, and to our lower div give a class name which will be width full, and height will be full or auto, whatever you may like, and I will make it relative because there will be some absolute positioning over here. Now I will work with that. Okay, so first of all, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create an state which will give us our active, because you see, if there is an active, some design, if it's not active, some design. So those things I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make it real quick because I already show it beforehand, and there will be an option by which we can track the prev and next, which is a before change. So in that way we can change, we can check which one will be our previous. So before do that one, just keep in that way, we also need that use state to be taken from there. And in that style, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just implement some of my style which will be position absolute, and after doing that, you see that is coming in the middle. And after giving that one, I will go and do the entire div. I'm gonna remove that one, I'm gonna paste my own class name. And after doing that, you see, now we need to make it round and put those things in a right way. And to do that, it is very easy because now we need to work on that style div. So first of all, for one time, I'm gonna giving a width of 30, height 30, border radius, just a similar CSS portion I'm gonna giving. And now see, those thing is working, but this is like when it's active, right? The see is normal is that color, when it's active it will give that color. So I need to now get the active one and previous one. To do that, again, let's go here, and that after the arrows we're gonna add that, which will give us the previous button, previous one and the next one, and it will coming from the dot. So remember, we already set active, which we did, which will be the next, it will continue to the set active and set previous, it will close by with that. And after that, here in this style I'm gonna create the CSS. So what I'm gonna do, when it's active it will give a CSS, when it's not active it will give a different CSS. So I will get the entire CSS which I have for that portion. Let's paste it here. Now you feel free to go, because if I explain everything, I'm keep on saying that one, then it will take a lot of time. So you can go through each and every single class name, and trust me, it will work just fine. So whenever I save it, let's go, and now see, whenever it's, you may see, whenever it's active, it's giving us some class name, and now the image also changing. So I think it's working much better. So after that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create that footer element for that. After that footer element, we're gonna go to create that product portion. So to create that footer element, the same component, I'm gonna create another folder which will contain all of my footer. Now if you just look into the footer, there is multiple things is happening. First is there is footer top, footer middle, footer bottom. So now let's create all of those things. So in the footer, first one, there will be a footer component, and after that footer component there will be another footer top, and after footer top also footer middle, and then footer bottom. So now let's close everything. You know, in the app we will just simply get the footer. Okay, and here you can see, I think we access the footer is in the down. So now we need to work with that footer. So first of all, we need to create the footer top. So in the footer, and by the way, we'll just give a pretty funny class name for the all the footer. The font will be title font, so the single font value will be there. And now what I want to take the top footer, I think, no, not top footer, it will be footer top. Yeah, so here we have the footer top. Now it's time to start working with our footer top. And now in footer top, it's I'm not gonna take much more time to make it arranging in a good way, because you see there's a little bit work of here. I need to create that component. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through and drop everything which I have for that. First of all, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take that div in a different way. I'm gonna take it in width full BG wide and give a padding of y axis 6. If we save, you will see nothing yet, because it's just an normal phenomena. So after that, let's go remove it. I'm gonna create another div, and inside that div I will create another div, and then I'll give a p tag where will be see personalized recommendation. And so that one, now let's go and drop some CSS. So after dropping the CSS, you feel free to go one by one so that you will understand it better. I'm keep on saying that one because I'm going much faster. So we no need to make that font title, because we already implement here, so it will capture the font title. So if you come over here, you can see this is the C personalized recommendations. I don't know why it broke. It's a width of okay. So in the p tag, what we're gonna do, we're gonna give a class name. It will be text, small text. Yeah, now see it's working much fine. And after that text, we will have a button, and in button it will be like, it will contain us to the sign in. And also for that button, we'll just go through, give some class name, which will be width of full. Remember, we give a width of 64 in the top, so it will take the full width, and it will be bg YOLO of 400. Okay, and now what I want it for that, it will be rounded in MD, and padding in y-axis it will be 1, and font will be the semi bold, and the cursor, it will be pointer even though, and whenever it will be hover on that, it will be bg YOLO of 500, and whenever it will be active, it will be bg YOLO of 700. If we save it and we come back here, now you see that is slick. So after having that, we need to create another portion, which is the new customer. And now in a down of the bottom, we will take another one, which will be new customer, and then we will create a span, which will be start here. And for that p tag, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just give a simple class name which will contain that, and also for our start here, which will contain little bit of styling. So after giving that, you see that one is ready, easy peasy. So it's this not that one. It's supposed to be that one. So that one is ready. Now you see it's little bit crashing together. So everything inside here, right? So we can just go through, like we can give a flex and it will come forward. We can give a flex of column, it will go down, and now we can give a gap of 1, fine, or you can give a gap of 0.5. Looks better. I think 1 is better. So now we have our footer top. Okay, footer top is done, and footer bottom we have those amazing things. So no, so not footer bottom, in the footer middle. So let's create those part. So if we go to footer middle, we will have 2 parts, right? That's the top, that's the bottom. So first of all, let's go to our footer middle. Let's comment those things here. We're gonna make it, and first of all we're gonna upload it here. I think we can see the footer middle. Where is that? We didn't put anything there, we removed that beforehand. So first of all, in our first div, what we're gonna do, we're gonna give a class name with a full, and bg, it will be Amazon light, text will be white, and after that we need to start the top. To start the top, we'll take a div, and then in that div we're gonna give a class name which will contain the elements. Now let's see, we in that div, now see, it's that div is not contain all, there is another max width is here. So on inside that div, when we're gonna take another div, see, inside that div we will take another div, and that div will that contain that class name. And that class name, what I'm gonna do, like if I write something h3 lorem 5, now you may see that is taking a container. Okay, so now it's taking that in a way, like if I just make a bj gray of 500, now you see that is the 5 axle div. So our all portion will be inside that div. Now we have 1 2 3 4 column is there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna delete it, I'm gonna create another div, and inside that div what I'm gonna create, it's a very simple things we're gonna create. We're gonna create an h3 which will get the title, and that title will be, what is the title, the first one, let's go and copy, get to know us. And after the title we'll again take a ul and li which will contain the list. Now you see this is the carrier, let's just go grab some from somewhere, and now if you go there you see that portion. So first of all I'm gonna remove that one, no need the bg. And that h3, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give a class name, and also for the ul I'm gonna give another class name. So now having that, you see, now here is an hover option is there. Now there is a lots of li will go there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create an hover effect, and this hover effect which will be contain the name of footer link because it's the footer link. So now if I go to our index file, I'm gonna grab those effects over here. Now you see that will be my hover effect, pretty much all of that. So that footer link, if I just go in the middle footer, and like if I take in all of that class name and paste, and now you may see that is working. So now instead of getting that ul li those all items, you know, I can make a component to create those items, right? So first of all, let's go to our here, that is the div is containing everything. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take all of those inside that div, okay, and then I'm gonna give that div a class name which will contain the which will contain the full width, and I will make a grid, and it will be grid in call span of 4, and the place items, I'm just keep it, I'll do it later. So if we make it, so it will take that portion. And now if I just create another 4 div, you may see it's taking it a very in a down by down way. So like if I just come over here, and if I make place item center, and also items from the start, now you see, no, it's not giving me the looks it's supposed to be. Why it's not giving? Let's see, let's go back here, that is div, that is another div, that is another div. So it's supposed to work. Grid calls of 4. Why it's not working? That is the div is containing everything. If I just refresh it again, I think if I just may need to go through to create another div. Okay, why that grid will not work? Let's just go and debug something with a full. I give that with a full. That max width is working, so if I give a grid cost of 4, it's supposed to work. Okay, go again. I'm gonna just debug something. Let's go to give a VG of gray 400. Let's see it's taking or not. Yeah, it's taking the hit. So why is not working? Oh, now I know. I will just cut the VG because there's a simple problem. If you just go here, I made a mistake to spell that one. That's just my mistake. So now the grid is working. I think we created an extra. So I'm gonna just delete that extra to show you how that for now we need to create those all of the items. So what I'm gonna do, instead of keeping that as a for, I'm gonna keeping that in a component. Okay, so in here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create another file which will be footer middle list.js rafce, and inside that I'm gonna take all of those items. I'll just cut it, and here I'm gonna paste it, save it, and now what I'm gonna do, footer middle list, I'm gonna paste it here. So now I have that. Now if I just make it in a 4 items, of course there is 4. Remember what we did? We need to declare our items, right? And to declare that items, I created one very simple solution. Like we have the title, then we will have we need to restore that portion from there. So let's go to our constant file, and we'll generate a list which will contain all the items we may require for that. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do it in the same way. If you don't understand that portion, go very slow, try to read what's happening on. Okay, so I'm gonna taking a middle list. The list is containing an ID and a title, and then there is list item which contains a array again, and in that array I'm giving an ID and then giving the list data. Inside that list data we are having the individual data. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna access all of those things in our footer middle, and let's go back to our footer middle. Now here we need to, like, our title is working much better, our UL is working. After the UL we need to access that footer list item. So let's go to list item. I think no, it's not giving me the okay, let's go back there and check what we give the name. Middle list. Okay, footer middle list. Okay, so the footer middle list, just give me a second. Yeah, now here I think just let it be here, and in the footer middle, footer middle, see, we creating the list over here. So what I'm gonna do, instead of manually just putting that one, what I'm gonna do, I will just get middle list from the constants, and I will map through that one, which will return me an item, and then I'm gonna generate that footer middle list over here. Okay, so if I save it, you will see again the 4 list, because we created the 4 if you go back here, there is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 4 array contains another 4 array. So first of all, if we go over here and now again go to in the footer middle, so we are generating that one. Now if we go and look back to our console, if we have something we have been done wrong, see, it's trying to get a list which each child in a list should have a unique key prop. Now we have been keeping a key for every single item, so we give an ID. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna give a key which will contains the item.id. Okay, and then if we save and reload, I think it should go, and it's begun. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give a title and a list item which I'm gonna pass to our footer middle list. So I'm giving the title and giving the list item. That title will contains all the individual titles over here. Okay, so in the footer middle list, now let's go back there. We can now access those two, which will contain the title and which will contain the list item. So now instead of that, I'm just simply type the title, and here you can see the title has been changed. So after giving the title, what I'm gonna do, I will access those lists. So now here the list item, I'm gonna make a map which will contain the item, again the function which will return a list item. And first of all, remember to give the key, which will be like right now will not give a key, just to show you how you can solve that error. Now in that list item, I think even we can keep the data, not always keeping the item. So now we will pass the data over here. After passing, if you come, I think we maybe did something wrong. Okay, there is the list item. Yeah, we did something wrong. So first of all, let's cut it and make a console.log. We will see what is available in the list item, because here is the list item. We have list item, list data. So if we make the console, and now if we go to here, see we have an array. We have a 4 array which contain one ID, one list data. So that's why we're giving that issue. So in the middle list, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna access again that list item. Okay, and that list item dot map, which will give us an item, and from there we will get the item, and from that item we will have a list contain which is called list data. We're gonna access that data and we will map through it. We'll get the data, and then after getting the data, we will return our li, and that li will contain the data we are looking for. Now we save it. You see all the data is available, and of course for giving the little bit that effect of hover, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give the class name a footer link. So now I have the footer. Now let's see the console. If any problem is happening, let's reload. Now see again that warning is coming. Let's remove the console. That warning is coming because see that list item is contained, because our list item contains no key and we have only data. So I'm gonna get the data's index, which I'm gonna give as a key. So let's give a key of I. Save it and just reload it, and those problems be gone. So we have that portion. Now after that, what we have another portion which contain that part, and for that part we need to have our logo and one flag. So let's get those things from there, and it will be in the footer middle. And footer middle, the bottom will start here. So, and on the bottom we will create a div. Okay, now for that div, I'm gonna just going to apply some bunch of class name which will contain the full width, and there will be a gapping and little bit of flex going on. And then we will make the image, and that image will contain our logo. Let's implement that logo. And of course you may see that when we keep the logo, it's so big, and what we need to do, we will just make it smaller. Let's go give a class name width of 20, and from the padding top it will be 3. Once you save it, now you see that looks better. So after having that, we need to create those portion and that portion. So I will just little bit quick. I will make another div. Inside that div, I will make p tag. It will be English, and that p tag will contain everything. So let's go and make a flex, And also for that p tag, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go grab and give some bunch of class name. Okay, because whenever you will hover, the effect needs to be affected. So see, there is an effect and everything working much better. So now after having those part, I need to create another part which will contain the flag. And after that div, I will take another div which will contain one image, which the image source will be, I think, bd flag img. And after that flag, we'll give a name. I'm from Bangladesh, I'm keeping as Bangladeshi. So now the flag is very big. So what I'm gonna do to make that flag as the way it's supposed to be, I'm gonna make a class name width of 6. If I save, and I will see that's much better. So now in the topper level of the div, I'm gonna go and grab some class name for that. Now see, to doing that, that looks slick. So after having that one, we're gonna create that footer also. Let's create it before we finish that. Then we're gonna create our routing. So first of all, to create that, we need another one which will, I think we created already the footer bottom. Yeah, so the middle gone, index, let's keep it. We will work with that. In the footer, we need that footer bottom. So now we can access the footer bottom. And for the footer bottom, of course, we're gonna go and give some class name for that footer bottom also. So first of all, in the footer bottom, what I'm gonna do, create a class name. The width will be full, and the bg will be footer bottom bg, and the py will be in 8. Now you see our footer. So now what we're gonna do, inside that one, we're gonna create another div. Now here we're gonna create a class name which will be max width of the same 5 pixel, and give an mx of auto. And now inside here we will create another div, and inside that div we're gonna create that footer bottom. Now of course I want to go a little bit faster with that, because it just can keep on styling and designing. If you see that and work with that, you can do it easily. So in our indexed constant file, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and grab all of the footer list I require for here. So let's minimize that, and here it will just contain an ID, a title, and a description. That's it. So those all of the things is here. So you may go and feel free to just write wherever the things you want to implement. 3 items will be there. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna I give a name of footer bottom item. So first of all, I'm going to my bottom, and here I will access that footer bottom item, and I will make a mapping function over here, and then I'll return the item. And let's return. And what I'm gonna return, I'll return a div, and in that div, inside that div, I'm gonna return an h3 which will contain the item.title, and another will be a p tag which will contain the item.description. And for that div, I'm gonna give a key which will contain the item.id. If I save, now see, I have all over the items. It's available here. Now I need to just design that one. And to design that, what I'm gonna do, the first over div, in the top of div which I have, I'm gonna give a max width of 5 pixel and mx auto. I think I gave it before. Yeah, the same thing I'm giving. So no, that one will not be that. For this div, what I'm gonna give, not that one, I'm gonna just make it the grid, and which will be the grid cost of 7, place content center, and text gray of 400. So now we are already done. So now for that h1 and p tag, I'm gonna go and grab some pdefine class. So let's go my previous file, and what I'm gonna go, I'm gonna grab that footer title, and footer bottom title. So let's go footer bottom title. That is the title. So class name footer bottom title. I think something is making some issues. Let's see what is showing. Yeah, in apply. What is that? Okay. Okay, for right now, if it's making that issue, I don't want to make a much more hodgepodge with it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go grab all of that class name and I'm gonna give it here. Now you see that's getting a little bit better. And also for another footer bottom text, which for that I'm gonna go and give that class name, which will be y24 tracking tight, and just a little bit CSS. You can go through each and every class name and you will find that same thing. So that's working fine. And the hover is not coming because see, I give the hover in the group. So what I need to do in here, I need to give a class name. If I make it a group, you may see the effect is much fine. So now it's working better. And also what I need to do, I think yeah, it's better to if we make the cursor pointer. Now if you go to the Amazon clone, sorry, the real Amazon, you will see they are using the same structure which I am following through. So feel free to create that. So now we are having that. Now it is the time to create our routing setup. Okay, after routing, because we need to fetch the product. Excuse me. To create the routing, what I'm gonna do, React router DOM npm, and here I'm going to use that React router DOM. Let's go initialize here. Let's close everything because our header, banner and footer is working fine. So we need to create that router setup. So now we will open our app. So if you go to the React router DOM version 6, and from here what we're gonna use, we're gonna use that yeah, create routes from elements. You can go to the document through the documentation to understand it perfectly. Okay, and from here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab the things I may require, all of the things. So first of all, I'm gonna import that all over the things from there. This one right now not required. So now here I'm gonna create our router. So first of all, to create the router, what I need to do, I need to just router equal to, and it will take from the create browse router. Okay, it will take an element, and inside that I will take the create a browse router from the elements, and here we're gonna define our route. So first route, in the first route, what it gonna be? First route, it will be the part of the home, and inside that home we will give an element, and that element we need to create, because just remember what we have the header and footer, which will be combined always. Okay, it will be there always, and other page will render different item. So first of all, we need to create a layout which will declare whatever the things will be available in which position. So let's const layout, and inside that layout is just a function. What are you gonna do? We're gonna return, and what will return in the layout will return a header, and then it will be footer. Now inside that I'm sorry, I need to be inside a div, otherwise it will freak out, or just a curly braces you can give, but I will just keep a div. Sometimes if I want to make any CSS, I can easily connect it. And inside that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just pass the outlet. So that outlet will give me access to whatever I want to put inside of it. So if I save it, now in that outlet, what I'm gonna do as an element, I'm gonna take that outlet. After doing that one, what I need to do is that I need to remove this portion, which is may not require for right now. So let's get that rid of that. Now go to the router provider, and it will take a variable which is router, and it will take our default router. So if we save it and just okay, we are not getting anything. I think we may made some mistake, because see, we are defining the route, but first of all we need to create same what it happened with that, we need to create inside a variable. So if we save it, okay, I think we are making a mistake. Let's just console and log, nothing is giving here. So let's see what is saying in here in warning. Banner layout is defined but never used. Okay, keep it out of that way. So in the outlets, okay, just let me, oh sorry, we are passing the outlet, not the outlet. It's just again a silly mistake which giving me headache. So just be careful. I think, yeah, it's giving layout. I think it will be, yeah, it's a kind of component, so we'll just keep it in a bigger letter. Okay, now we can give the layout, and I think now it will be fine. So now we are having that one, and now in the pages, what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a page which will be home.js rafce, and inside that home, what we're gonna get, we're gonna give the banner. Okay, so now we can access that banner in our home. And how we gonna do that? Let's go here and create another route, and that route, the element will be just give a path first. So the path will be home, and the element, oh, what I'm doing, the element will be home. Okay, so now there is, I think this banner is not required here, so I'm gonna remove it from here. So now if we just go and make home, see, we can see our home, but where is our things? So we need to create that page. The element is home. So inside that layout, so what I'm gonna do, just remove that portion and that portion, because the mistake was happen here in the layout, not there. So I'm gonna wrap it with our elements. So here it can access the footer, header and footer, and the outlet will pass in the middle. So now if we go back to our home, you see the home is there, header, footer we can access. So we don't want as a home that one, because we want in the main route, right? So we will keep that as index. So now if we come over here, we can access that same positioning. So now we can access those everything here, whatever we require, right? So our header, if you see, that header need to be sticky. So to make that sticky, we will go to our component header, and in the top level, what I'm gonna do with full, I'm gonna make it sticky, and the top will be 0. If we save it, as you see, it's in there, but it's getting the down a bit. We'll make a Z of 50, and now see, that's slick. So now we have our header, everything is going to be right. So to create that other components we can create, but first of all let's create the product. Okay, let's bring the product. So in the product, like in the header, okay, we will have another component, not in the header, sorry, in the home, which will contain our product, products.js. So that will be our product. So after the banner, we will get our products, right? PR, I think some mistake is here. No. Okay, let's go to manually products, from products. If we go, the product is here. So now in our typical and a normal normal daily previously when we are getting accessing data through our the use effect, how we are accessing data, we are in that same way we will try to access, and also then we're gonna try to access the data using that okay, let's go to our products. Now here we want to access all the products data, and that products data we're gonna use from that fake history API which we create. In that API you can have that your products data as a products data or the Amazon products data. Okay, I'll give the link in description so you can go through that and you can access those data. So I need to access that data. To access the data in a React application, we need to also import something called Axios. So Axios, and now with that Axios we can get that. I think I made a mistake. Import sorry, it will be npm I Axios. So now to get the data, what you are doing, creating the use effect, and in that use effect let's make an assign function. The function name will be products data, and let data equal to await, which will be axios.get. And remember we are having that link, we don't need that one. That link we will capture, which will give us the data here. And now we make just console.log, we give the data, and also we can give an empty dependency. And now we need to get the products data here. So now if we save it and if we go and inspect over here, you can see we are having our data over here, like data dot data. We can access our data, right? In that way we can access, but also there is an option in routing which also we can access the data. So in our today's video we are going to use the routing way, in that way how we can access the use loader data. I will show you that. So I am no longer needing that one. So what I'm gonna do in the API, I'm gonna create a file which will be api.js. Now here you can, I think I delete that one. Let's go to again routed DOM, and if you come over here, there is a portion where is mentioning that use loader data. I think it's somewhere here, or let's just find, see, use loader data. You just come over here, just read something of that and you will understand it better. Okay, so first of all what I'm gonna do in that API, let's import Axios. And after importing the Axios, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna export from here, and it will be the same assign function which will be like our products data, and that function which will return like const, it will be the products products products, and now it will give an await, and again axios.get the same link which we are using before. I did it again. So let's go here, and it will be fake store API which we created. Let's go in that API, let's get that API link, and now I will paste that, and after pasting that, what I'm gonna return, I'm gonna return the products from here. So now this API giving me that entire product, but how the hell I'm gonna access that one? Okay, to access that product, we need to use that loader data. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna going through my app where I declare that one. I need that loader data in the home. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pass the loader, and in the loader I'm gonna pass the I think the products coming from the not the products, it will be product data. So still it's not giving, oh sorry, what, it's a function, so it's just gonna come like that way. Okay, so this is the products data we get. So that product data we need here inside the products. So how we gonna access in the product that data? So in the product, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the our use loader, like const data equal to use loader data. Okay, now if we make the console.log data, what we can see, I think this we no need to recur anymore. Let's refresh. Again we're getting an array of data, so let's go data.data, and now we're getting that array. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, instead of console.log, what I'm gonna do is a const product data equal to, I'm gonna just remove that bracket. So now we have our product data. Okay, so that product data now we can access wherever we want, and to access that one, and after accessing we can create our product over here. We have the data, and in our next build we're gonna create that all over the products components. Okay, so till then you keep tuned, because we're gonna create that products option and all over the products data. Okay, so we'll see in the next video to keep the products components.